Kia ora there, Digifano. My third born daughter remembered some stories that I told them growing up about me making like wee shooters out of Bic Pens in high school and stuff, and shooting each other with like rice and pasta sticks. She asked if I could make her one at the time, and I was like, no, I'm not wasting a pen just to make one. If I was going to make one, it'd be from a dead pen. She's like, well, if I used a pen until it died, would you make me one? And I was like, yeah, I suppose so. Well, she's come to me after using a pen to the point where it's died. Well, it's now my turn to follow through. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. So I think I remember having to take this bit out, gently nicked out that bit, normally chiseled off this side bit to make it a bit easier to mount it to something else, chopped off somewhere around here, carefully cutting through the plastic, not to cut through the other bit because we need that in there. And then we mount that over the hole as a feeder. See how we go. See how many times I cut myself with a craft knife. I can't do it and record at the same time, so I will just pause it here and see how we go. Alright. Quick little update. I've managed to hack all that stuff off. Knock the end off a little bit. And get the wee gun piece out. See how it looks like a wee gun. Just spin it around. Pew pew! Pew 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 pew! Cool. Bang bang!
Uh-oh, I just shot myself with a plastic imaginary gun. Bang, 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 bang.
So yeah, anyway, that got that out. And now that is almost ready to go. Now I hold on to those plastic bits because sometimes I melt them down to try and cause sturdiness or help stability and structural integrity and shit later on. But now I'm going to work on making the trigger piece, taking this bit off down here, cutting it off. So around about where those blue pin marks are actually in the tube, but I've got to make sure that I cut through very carefully without actually cutting into that piece. There is nothing worse than having to break two pins just to make one pea shooter. That defies the whole purpose. So we can get pretty clever with these things. So I'll continue on, and yes, I'll show you the next bit. Right, I've just cracked through, so now this bit, it can come off. And what's going to happen is this bit is going to be sitting on top of that hole. Ooh. Trying to do this one-handed is not easy to demonstrate for you guys, but yes, the point is to have it sitting on top of that hole, and then what you do is you're holding it and you have like a piece of pasta sitting in it, and then you pull this back and you launch it, and it comes flying out this hole. So now what I've got to do is I've got to pull this bit out, and I've got to tie this out and make sure I can get the ink out of it so it doesn't make a mess when it comes apart. But I've also got to pull it out so I can tidy up this plastic here, because once, focus, thank you, this plastic in here, because of the way it's been cut off, gets quite sharp, cuts into this plastic bit here once you've pulled it back a few hundred times. You can chisel it. Oh, did I cut into it? Focus, please. Focus. Focus. Oh no. I think I cut into it. Oh, I think I cut into it. Oh, it'll still work for a wee while. Well, see how we go. I've got plenty of pens, I can fix it anyway. Alright. I'll carry on and keep you updated. So now I've got this bit mounted up a little bit with some super glue at the moment. I need to strengthen it up with the plastic bits, mount some plastic on there yet, but unfortunately they don't make pens the way they used to anymore, and it doesn't spring back as well as it used to. And obviously the process hasn't changed, but the materials that they use has, and without pulling the pen apart completely, I can't know for sure exactly what is going on. I dripped a bit of super glue onto my finger and it's all sticky now, but I think I'm going to have to pull this bit out and try and super glue it to the stopper in there, because the spring bit is not the same as it used to be, that's for sure. So I'll keep moving along, and hopefully I can get a demonstration for you, and then give it to my daughter so she can continue to have fun with. Alright, I'll continue. Alright, and here we have it, finished product, so to speak, of this version of pasta / rice shooter. Open up that bit a wee bit, and now it's all stabilised, the plastic melted on there around the super glue, so it's a little bit more sturdy. And I feed the pasta down there, but turns out that we don't have any open pasta, so I'm not going to open a pack just to waste it, but I had to super glue the ink straw back onto the plastic head, because like I said, they don't make them like they used to. And back in school we found out that if the spring wasn't powerful enough, that if you cut a hole starting around about here to there, because the plastic comes in probably about that far off memory from when I last pulled a pen apart, and what we learnt to do was double spring them, and then cover up the hole again. And the things you do when you got time on your hands, but people don't do that these days because they got something else in their hands, don't they? So unfortunately I can't give you a demonstration of it shooting pasta, but that is what they look like once they are made. And quite simply, you just pulling that back, and because it's super glued in there and the spring shit, all you're doing is letting it go and focus, letting it go, and the spring's launching the head, snaps the piece of pasta that's going through out that part to wherever you're aiming it. Now obviously it does not hurt, it simply just makes a mess. I mean, normally if you're shot in the face with one of these, unless you were like us back in the day and you got double or triple springs in there to try and make them more grunty, it didn't really do anything. Like, maybe if you were lucky, you got a scratched eye, and otherwise you'd normally blink it and you'd be fine. Like, seriously, whinge, moan, moan. So that is this finished product. I guess we'll see what else comes along the way. Toodaloo.